I grew up in Weehawken, New Jersey, a little small town right across from the big city. I used to wake up in my mama's house every day, same walls, same bed. I didn't grow up with much. I just had a dream and a whole lot of heart. And she'd be right there with a cafecito and tres golpes in hand. I never thought I would host a Puerto Rican festival or produce my own talk show, let alone be in films. But here I am.
You trying to run me over?
Sometimes I would grab a sandwich from the bodega down the street because guess what? They knew my order before I would even say it. If you just walked one block up on the boulevard, there it was, big, bold, and shining bright. And this is Tales of a Latina.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the very first episode of Tales of a Latina, where we peel back the layers of power, passion, and pain from some of the most incredible voices in the Latin culture. I'm your host, Katherine Nunez, and do we have a powerhouse in the building for you? She is a media mogul, a writer, entrepreneur, producer, and she's someone who stood toe-to-toe with the boys club of hip-hop media and came out winning on top, unapologetically Latina. Today's guest is the one and only Kim Osorio. Kim, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
We're going to start the show off with some drinks, with some
Okay.
cocktails, courtesy of Esbeta. This is a beautiful establishment that we're in today.
It is.
Alan was so gracious to allow us to film my season here, and I'm so excited. And you're going to love these drinks.
Oh my God. It's already a thing. There's like a baby chicken there.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
And we got to make sure.
Where's yours?
It's coming, girl. It's
Right.
coming.
Okay. I have to take a photo of this at some point.
Yes.
Well, I'll get it later.
Yes. Yeah.
Congratulations on your show.
Thank you.
Say that.
Thank you so much.
It is amazing.
I
I love the
appreciate
set. It's beautiful. I love the title and everything. So
Thank you.
it is not easy to get a show done.
It's not. It's been a long time coming. I've had this idea in my head for 7 years. And I'm like, what am I going to do with this?
Nice.
Because it was just the words. Keep going.
This is
Magic.
magic.
Oh, there we go. These are the drinks, girl. All right, let's take
Somebody's gonna give me the film. Like, this is incredible. Like, just watching the shoe, and
They're gonna get
like
all this.
Yeah, I get all of that. Okay, so
But let's take a sip
Okay.
before we start this interview.
Okay.
It's gonna be really juicy.
Okay.
Mm,
Mm.
that is so good.
Mm-hmm. I
Thank you, Esbeta, for giving us these cocktails. They're so good. And now we can get started on our interview.
Let's do it.
You have been such an important public figure to Afro-Latina women,
Thank you.
to Bronx girls,
Thank you.
to truth tellers all over the world.
Mhm.
And I want to take it back with you. I want to start with little baby Kim.
Okay, can I drink while you talk?
Absolutely. But you got to, I want to know about you.
Okay.
I want to know.
Little baby Kim?
Yes.
Oh, it was a long time ago.
I know.
Yeah.
How long ago?
Not.
No,
I guess those are
20 years
25
ago.
years.
Yeah. So 25 years ago, growing up in the Bronx.
Right.
What was that like? And what were some of the things that you used to do just on your everyday?
Oh my God, what a question. So, if I'm being honest, I grew up the 70s and 80s, right?
The
In
best
that-
era.
Well, the 90s is my favorite.
The 90s is my favorite.
I'm living the 90s right now, and I love it. So, the 70s and 80s, it was very different, right? Like, just technology alone has changed so much. You lifting that drink is, I didn't know that was coming. I wasn't ready. So, like, technology has changed the game, right? So, me growing up in the Bronx, it was a different time. When I look at what's going on and how Gen Z is even consuming content, and I have daughters who are young, kind of coming up as adolescents and adults
Right.
in the world now, it is so different from where I came from. So I started like around 165th Street in Grand Concourse. That's where I first lived, right next to the old Yankee Stadium.
I knew I wore the right outfit. I was like, I'm wearing this today with Kim.
But like the old stadium,
Yes.
not the new.
Yes, I know.
So we were able to go on the roof, go from roof to roof of buildings. Like, we did things like this, right?
All day.
But we could see the Yankee games from the building. There was a fire every week in my building. Like every week there was a fire. You know how they used to say the Bronx is burning?
Yes.
The Bronx was like literally burning. It was
Wow.
burning. There was always a fire. I can remember. These are the things I remember from like my youth, like that young. Because I think I lived there till about 7, 8 years old. And I remember having to run out when they banged on the door and said, there's a fire. Everybody get out.
Yeah.
Right. So like I came up in this very, very Bronx type of upbringing where, yes, like you see the old school hip hop up in the Bronx where the people are fresh there was like that was that literally was my upbringing at that age. Around 7 or 8 years old, my mom, we were moving on up. We moved to Castle Hill. She bought a house. And it was like a big deal to have a house. We went from, a very humble apartment where my bedroom
In like an apartment building.
and it was in a tenement, and my bedroom was literally the dining area. So it was a 1-bedroom apartment, but there was a dining area outside the kitchen. So me and my sister, there were like, it wasn't even like a door.
No,
You couldn't close the door.
Okay.
Like there was a kitchen, and then you went into like this pantry dining area with these like shutter doors. But that was where my parents put me and my sister. We had bunk beds in a bedroom, very, very small room. I'm sure if I went back today, I'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe that's, how small it was.
Wow.
But, that was how we started.
That's how we all, that's how everybody started. Like, me too.
And it's a very long time ago. But when we went to Castle Hill, it was like more space, right? But I mean, I live right.
You had your own room.
I had my own room, but we were right next to the projects.
Right.
Projects. So, Castle Hill, in a sense, was also in that area, not the best neighborhood, right? There was a lot of crime from what I can remember, but it still felt like home.
It still felt neighborhoody, like
My mom did what she did to make my upbringing comfortable and to give us what she envisioned was a better life, right? But I thought we were middle class.
Right.
Really was.
Yeah.
Middle class, you know what I'm saying? But still,
that's what you felt.
It was a step up from Grand Concourse, right? Because people lived in houses.
Yes.
And in Castle Hill, that's where, like, I went to Holy Family. It was the same elementary school that J-Lo went to.
Okay.
So a lot of people were like, wait a minute.
Pass with J-Lo? And
she was older than me.
Oh.
She was older than me, but she was in my school.
Right.
And her mom was the gym teacher.
Yeah. Wow. So let's talk about what pulled you into media in the first place.
So I think I kind of just fell into it. I was always a writer and a storyteller. So when I was young, I didn't know that because my parents came from, that neither of them went to college, right? So it was all about success was being a lawyer or a doctor, right? Like, oh, you got to go to law school. And that's why I ended up going to law school. My sister is a nurse practitioner because we didn't have really the space to understand that being creative could be something that you could do professionally and
that it's a business. Yeah.
Right. We didn't really know anything. It was like, be a lawyer, be a doctor. And, fortunately for me, I have that background, but I was always a writer. I always loved storytelling. I always loved to write in my diary. I always wanted to think of things and make them up in my head. Like that was something I did. I didn't understand that was what I was doing, right? Like, and I have examples now that people don't even know about. Like I remember having, maybe if a book was read to me, having stories that I would make up in my head about the future.
Right.
That was writing in and of itself, just not writing it down. And I didn't understand that. When I went to law school, I really learned how to write in a different way.
Right.
More structured, to the point, shorter, right? Like, so I had both backgrounds. I had like the descriptive thing, and then I had the very analytical writing. But in practice, I put it as a I started to write about music because I love music. I always loved hip hop. I was always collecting records, DJing. You know, I wanted
You used
to
to
be.
DJ too?
I did.
That's
I did.
amazing. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I had 2 Technic 1200s. Yes, and I sold them for $500 one Christmas when I needed the money, and I'm
Oh,
so upset that I sold them.
that's a parent's nightmare. It's like you buy your kid a gift and they go and they
No,
sell
I
it.
bought them
Oh,
myself.
you bought them yourself.
I bought those Techniques. I bought the needles, everything from SOS on Castle Hill Avenue, which would used to be a DJ specialty shop.
Wow.
Like I got my whole setup. And then I came up on hard times when I was in law school, and I was like, let me get rid of these turntables, and I sold them. But I'm like, I should have never sold my turntables. It's like, it would have been so vintage now. So I worked at this company where I was entering all the information from the CD into a database. And that database would later like get licensed out to a lot of online record sales and things like that. So for me, it was a learning experience because I was a big fan of the music. I was the only hip hop head there, and I was consuming and taking in all of the information that goes into the record. So I knew like where things were recorded, you know, all the producers, the songwriters. Like it was almost like being in music school.
Wow, without having to pay.
Right. And I started writing at that company descriptions of the albums that I would enter.
And at that time, that was
Yeah.
so important.
And those, that was really the beginning. Sometimes I can see some of my writing on like Amazon when you go and look up an album because they ended up licensing that information. Yeah, no.
Will they cut you a check?
Writers, listen.
No.
Writers, it's a very hard business. A lot of people are looking like for a different path because it's not as lucrative as it once was with AI and ChatGPT.
Yeah, everything is changing. And so let's take it back a little, like let's take it back, but like fast forward to now you being the first Latina editor-in-chief at the Source magazine.
Right. So yeah.
That was like the Bible of hip hop back in the day. Like, let's talk about what that moment meant for you personally and for women in hip hop as a whole.
Thank you. So, like I said, when I was working at that database company, I would sit there and enter reviews and write reviews and enter data into this database. But I was listening to music all day. We would also get magazines that we had to take excerpts from the magazine and enter it also into the database. So I was getting the source every month, so I would have to read it. You know, I mean, obviously I knew what the source was. It was the Bible of hip hop. We were all familiar, but I would have to read a lot of it. Whereas maybe just as an average fan or person, when you get the magazine,
you go to the page.
It's not like,
you skim.
No, I was like reading
every single page.
And there was a time where just as a writer, that was the only place I wanted to be. I was like, eventually I'm going to land a job at the Source. And it took me a minute to get there. Just being a freelancer, shopping my articles around, right? Eventually I got that job. And then when I got that job, right, I came in as, you know, being in the music department wasn't easy for women. Women in hip hop weren't considered as journalists, weren't considered to be like knowledgeable.
And they wouldn't take you serious. And it was
so
like,
I came in on the music side and I was really excited about being a music editor. And from there, I kind of took it and started to climb up the ladder. And eventually, you know, I was given the editor-in-chief job. And so I think at the time, I didn't really think about it like, you're the first woman. You're the first Latina. Yeah, I didn't think about it like that. It was just what I loved to do.
Right. But it was a really high position to have, especially at that time.
People keep telling me that. And I think that in hindsight, that I feel it more than I felt it when I was there.
Right. And that's with everything.
Yeah.
I feel like with everything I do now, even as an actor, sometimes in the movies I'm in, I'm just in it. I'm present. I'm working, right? For a job. You're not thinking about all the other people that are like, wow, I wish I could be doing that too. And you're just living your life presently and purposefully. And
not even thinking about what kind of impact
Right.
you made on so many women.
Right. Thank you.
And so let's talk about, you know, the case, the $8 million court case.
Yikes. Okay.
You fought the system and you won. And that's huge. For me, like, a lot of women are scared to speak up because they're like, especially against such a massive machine, like, you know, what gave you that strength to go up against such a massive machine like that?
I think the pain. I think having a job that I loved so much, working so hard, and then ultimately being fired, that pain motivated me to want to make things right. And I felt like I was very wronged. Now, I filed a case with 4 claims, right? Retaliation, defamation, sexual harassment, gender discrimination. This was at a time where people were afraid to speak up. People told me, don't do that.
You might
It's
get
career suicide. What are you doing? Like, you're never going to get a job. And it took me a while to get a job. And it wasn't until another woman who understood what was going on. And I always talk about Rhonda Cowan, but she gave me my job at BET 8 months after I filed my case against the source. And there was a group of women that understood
what was
happening. But there weren't a lot of women who were able to say, oh, I stood up against that. So those women kind of like championed me behind the scenes, like, oh, no.
Yeah.
No, because it wasn't something that you did. This was before Me Too. Like, this was before it was
right.
Cool. So that this is what happened. And I was in an environment where while I was in it, I knew it was wrong. People were like, well, why would you wait till you were fired to file or say something? I filed a gender discrimination complaint right before I was fired. I was like, because I knew if I filed the complaint, I was going to get fired.
Right.
So I had to wait. I couldn't just say something. There were complaints on record by other women. Like, this wasn't something that was new. So for me, it was like, I don't want to lose my job.
When you went into this lawsuit, had you already had your like law degree or like
I did.
You did. So you already kind of
So I knew this is illegal. You can't do this. But I did have that legal background. It was also something, this boys club type of energy was going on and running rampant in the industry. And I was I was in media at a magazine, but record labels, like so many companies were dealing with it. Where women were like, feeling
all the guys
wrong.
were like in on it.
A lot of women, you'll hear them now talk about their upbringing in the 90s, and they'll say, I used to wear baggy clothes to work because I didn't want to get harassed. That's just like when you hear women in the industry say that, that's saying like, I know if I put on a certain outfit, like I can't get my job done.
Yeah.
And so that was just the culture of what it was. So it was accepted.
Yeah.
But to me, to be able to say, wait a minute, this isn't right, or I'm discriminated against because of this, like that was me saying, okay, I'm ready to challenge the system. I'm ready to say something, and I'm not scared of what happens. And when I filed that complaint, I was fired. And ultimately, the case was won on retaliation and defamation. It wasn't won on sexual harassment or discrimination, because a lot of people don't know those are like very hard claims to win.
They are, yes.
So even now, regardless of what I went through, and I wrote about it in my book, it's not enough. So women struggle with this every day. So we have to really change the system and fight against it. And I think that we can get into a lot of what's happening today, but that's heavy stuff.
I feel like today, women, because women, we do over sexualize ourselves on social media now. I do feel like it's like it's like, I don't know. It's like there's like a double, like a, like girls can't say, and like, listen, I dress sexy too. And I'm very unapologetically like myself, and I don't expect anyone to treat me like any differently. But there are times where I'm like, you know what, I'm going to go here. Let me dress a certain way because I know that I need to look a little bit more decent, a little bit more covered up. And it's just always like a struggle as a woman. Like you just never know if you're doing the right thing.
Right.
But let's talk about those challenges, right? Like what are some of the challenges that you face as a woman being in a male-dominated industry where, I mean, aside from the lawsuit, like what are some other challenges that you faced? I know like in the beginning of your book, it starts with like the Eminem beef. Do you still have beef with Eminem?
I don't have beef with anyone. I mean, that I know about.
Not beef, or does he still have?
I care less.
Right.
That was so long ago for me, right? And I haven't seen or heard of him like in years, right? But that was so long ago for me, and for me to kind of grow up and grow out of that and understand and go through, you know, things in my life outside of even the industry, I look at that like the way that I felt about it didn't even really affect me, right? Yes, I thought things were wrong, but when you go through hardships and other things in life, you realize how small and insignificant
it didn't break you.
Yeah, those things were, right? Like I laughed at that.
At that beef, yeah.
I don't know Eminem. He doesn't know me. What is he talking about me for? And I, you know, when I think about women and what women struggle with in the industry today, right? There's a lot of judgment. One of the things that I was big on with this book was trying to point out the double standard, right? I wanted people to understand because there were so many things that were said about me, whether it's in the media or what rumors they might have heard, like those things bothered me. And I was like, no. I want to explain to you why they bother me. I'm going to do what I do regardless. But the fact that a man can do 10 times worse, or, you know, they get away with harder to the same standard, I wanted people to see that. And that's what I talked about in the book. Now, looking back and seeing where we are, I talk about a lot of stories that happen in media today. And I always get criticized by men in media, some of them my friends. They say, Kim, you're always taking the woman's side. You don't want to even, that's what they tell me. You're always taking the woman's side. What if she's lying? What if it's a money grab? What is it? And I understand that I'm speaking from a place of experience, right? And knowing how hard it is to file a lawsuit and put yourself out there. So it's not that I'm always taking the women's side. I look at both sides. I try to do as much research as possible. But I think a lot of times when women speak out, they're automatically like shut down, chastised. Cassie's like the best example for me, because when Cassie filed her lawsuit, I had full-on arguments with people, like full-on arguments on the phone, where people were saying that she was trying to get his money. So many arguments, like heated, passionate arguments, because I read her case from top to bottom.
Right.
And I believed her. And she was repped by my attorneys. So I know how Ken Thompson has since passed away, rest in peace, but his partner, Doug Wigdor, represents Cassie.
Right.
So I went through my lawsuit with this firm.
So you know.
So I know how they handle things. And I know they're not, you know, they're going to like make sure that they check things. And
yeah, they're gonna like fact check everything.
Right.
Make sure that they're representing someone who's telling the truth. Exactly. Because that's what attorneys do. They're not just gonna take your
some of them, right? So that's why that's what I was arguing. So like, you know, I'm going down the claims that she made and I'm reading them and I'm like, okay, wow, they must have evidence to back this up. They must have this, they must have that. And I come out, I report on it, whether it was whatever podcast I was on, whatever interview, and people were like saying to me, like, they didn't believe her. Why was she with him for so long? What, like, they were saying all this stuff, and I was like flabbergasted because I'm like,
the woman had a video too.
No, it wasn't a video.
Oh, there wasn't a video yet.
It wasn't a video yet. That's why I use her as an example. Because now the tables have turned because everyone saw the video. And they saw her how helpless she was in the video, how she was laying on the floor, how she was obviously, you know, someone who had endured that for so long. You can see it with your own eyes. But when that case was filed, there was no video. I'm just reading the case, but so many people spoke against her. And it's out there. You can Google it.
Yeah.
You can Google it.
Yeah.
It's out there. And you can see people just, saying things about her.
Yeah.
And I really connected with that because there was no video when I filed my case, right? So you didn't know. It was
a time period where that wasn't really too much.
It was like, oh, I'm lying and what, I'm lying about what? This is what it is. This is what the culture is. Oh, that's why I went on defamation because they're like, she's trying to extort us. That's what they say about women when you speak up, that she just wants money. She's trying to extort us. And that's what was said about me. Extortion is a crime.
Yeah.
You can't say that. Yeah. So I filed a defamation suit for that. They said other things, but I was like, wait a minute, this is what we're going to go on because, my attorney was like, this is how we should position this case in order to win because cases are about legal strategy. And that law school background also helped me understand that. So I think that people were like, oh, wait a minute, watching how this went down. But if you're going to file a lawsuit, you got to be strategic about it.
Yeah.
And I just, because unfortunately, the law doesn't protect women.
It doesn't protect.
The Survivors Act came, like this is recent. Now people can bring things up from the past. But, I can go on and on about this. Let me take a sip.
No,
Let me on about this because, today's the first day of the Diddy trial. I know. So, I'm paying very close attention to what's going on there.
I know.
Yeah.
And it's just such a sad story all around. Like I feel for all the victims that had to endure whatever it is that he put them through. But I also feel
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. This is 20-something years after my case.
I know.
Right? So, like,
this has been going on even
for all this time, and not just to single that case out and him, but there are other things that
aren't even even exposed yet.
So for me, having that case as my background and, before the whole Me Too thing really came out, it's like there's this little baby steps we've had to take.
I know. And it's taken us a long time, but you kind of like were the first one in hip hop. And I think in any.
That might be the biggest judgment in a case like that in New York.
Yeah.
I think someone told me that.
Yeah, it really is. Cause and I feel like just recently people started coming out. You've already been exposing what's been going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm so grateful for you. And let's talk about why you think The Source was like such a influential publication in hip hop back then. Like what made that publication like special that was it you? Because after you
there's a whole mind squad before me that really laid down the bricks to build an institution like The Source. And it was built not just on like, I love fanzines and I used to put posters on my wall, get the magazines, Word Up, whatever it was.
Yeah.
But The Source had a very, unique voice and perspective from within the hip hop community. And it covered more than just an album drop. It covered politics, covered culture, right? The way that The Source really was able to tackle specific issues going on within the culture was really, I think, what gave it its leverage in the game because there wasn't a magazine out there like that. It was controversial, when you even look at just being truth tellers in the industry. Like, you go to The Source because you know what you're reading. It's real, right? We're going to tell you the truth about your record. No, it was not that good. It deserves 2 mics. We're going to tell you. We're going to do articles and we're going to ask questions.
Cancel.
We would have cross cancel culture. For sure. For sure. It was really canceling people. Yeah.
So let's talk about some of like the people you've interviewed. You interviewed numerous like high profile celebrities. Yeah. What's your unique approach to get them to like, spill the tea and give you those authentic responses that I want to get?
Yeah.
Like, how do you do that?
I think it's funny because I don't do a lot of interviews anymore.
No, not yet, but you did.
But I did them back then. I think one of my gifts was just talking to people. So now with podcasting exploding and everyone being like, you need to do this podcast, and me actually being part of numerous podcasts, people are like, you know how to talk. I'm like, well, I've always known how to talk, right? This is a gift. And I've shared it in various ways, whether it was writing books, articles, online, writing for television, but I know how to talk to people. Like just talk.
Right. Just getting to know each other.
And that is what brings out
The
the authenticity in your subject, because let's just talk first before we even get down to it. I never stuck a recorder in front of someone's face and pressed it and started asking questions, because I personally think that's rude. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So back then, my approach was always to get to know someone if I'm going to write about them and use them as a subject. And it's just like when I do TV nowadays, as a reality TV producer, I want it to play as real as possible. So yeah, we could sit in the room and we can come up with ideas and say, oh, you're going to do this and you're going to do that. And we're going to put you guys in a restaurant and the scene's going to go like this. But ultimately, I want you to go into your scene with your authentic self.
Right.
Because the camera can see
Yeah.
when you're lying.
Yeah.
And I think for me as a producer, I want to bring that out of people. And that's what gets the great scene work. Though it was like that when I worked at the Source. I just wanted to know who you were for real.
It's just like acting too. Like as an actor, you always like you get the lines, they give them to you. Yeah, you want to know the lines.
Right.
You want to know what's going on
Right.
in the scene. You want to know the objective. Like DC would tell me, my favorite like you want to come in as authentic as possible and as true. You want to relate to the scene as much as possible. So I get that. And for me, I'm really loving this whole like interviewing thing.
Oh,
because I love listening to other people's stories. Like it's just so amazing to like be in a room with other prominent Latina women that have such an amazing story to tell. You are like,
thank you.
You're killing it.
Thank you.
And let's talk about reality TV, because you did reality TV. You were on Gossip
Game.
Mm-hmm. And that was a very interesting reality show because no one's ever done it before. It was like what really goes on in media.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. Give us a peek about what was like the most surprising thing during filming.
Well, I think one of the things that maybe the producers of that show weren't too fond of was that I wanted to know everything. And for an inexperienced, not saying they were inexperienced, but I know just from my work, for an inexperienced producer, right, you don't want to tell your cast anything. You just want them to walk into the scene. You do whatever insight digging that you have some time with your cast, and then you want them to walk into the scene and kind of go according to the script, right? Because there's a storyboard and you have the cards laid out and this is the scene and you have an expectation for how that situation is going to end, right? Just like sitcoms and television. But
right.
For me, that didn't work for me because I want to know everything.
You want to know what's going on.
Right. Like I want to know what's going on.
Me too.
Like, what are we doing?
Are we
so I'm prepared.
Right? Scene, are we?
Right. Like, what do you expect? But, and reality TV has evolved since I did it. That was around 2013, right? I don't know. Maybe I would have to go back and watch the show to see how I came off and to see if people liked me or if I wasn't.
I loved it.
Like, I don't know if I ain't have enough one-liners or what it is. But as a producer, I produce very differently. So again, I want to get to that person's authentic self. But a lot of the times when I come in and do these shows, the cast doesn't believe me. If they don't know me, see, I have an advantage with people that I know. With people that I know, they know me.
Right. They'll trust you. And
right. But if you don't know me, you're like, what is she talking about? She ain't telling me the truth. She's lying. She's like, it's like, okay, well.
Do you ever feel like conflicted between being a producer and being talent? Because technically as a reality TV star, you're talent.
I was. I don't, because I feel like producers are talent.
Thank you.
So, we have our own talent that we're working with. And so I understand that. but not everyone understands that.
Right.
Right? A lot of my producers that I work with are very talented. They're funny. They go on. Even one person that used to work for me is doing all of these social media clips, and everyone is like under her picture. They're like, "Oh my God, I never knew you were so funny." And I'm like, we worked with her every day. She's hilarious. You know what I'm saying? But you're not getting to know your people that work for you. You're not going to know
Their
personality, their talent, and how they take their talent and inject it into the cast. See, a lot of my shows, I like working with young cast. When I work with young cast, I can see like it's almost like verbatim. With like it's that whole scene is me. If you cut it together, it'll be like Kim, like because they're calling me off camera,
Right.
and then we put it all together. But the little butterfly came out. But like a lot of times, the way that I'm able to mold someone into who they need to be on television is by really getting to know them,
Right.
and getting to know the real them and how they want to come out. So by the time we get to sit in front of the cameras, all I have to do is walk over and say one thing, and they just
And it's like action.
they go with it because they know, if they know I have their best interests, I'm telling you how it's gonna play. And that's why like some of the best scenes that I've ever gotten are with people who really trust me. And I still do it to some, I've stayed very close with some of the better cast members that I've worked with on television, and I still do it to this day. Like sit there.
Who are some of your favorite cast members?
Oh, everyone knows. Everyone knows Yandy's like my favorite cast member to ever work with, and like to this day is one of my very good friends. Everyone knows that Sin Santana is like also like one of my favorite people, and so I still talk to her all the time. So like when I did the Impact Dream, I love Dream.
That's my
right?
baby, yeah.
Everyone knows that. Like people know who my people are because they stay with me past and beyond the show. Ella, like they stay with me.
Bands,
Yeah, like after the show is over, I just don't leave.
Right.
And it's funny because I had someone on, Ivy Rivera, who I
that's my boo. I love
Hustle in Brooklyn. Like, she calls me mom. Like she just texted me yesterday, like Happy Mother's Day, mom. Like I stay with people who I get that relationship with, and I think that it's because the care and the trust goes beyond when the cameras are on, right? I'm not just doing this. I had somebody tell me from Hustle in Brooklyn, like, how do you just come into people's lives like this and then just leave? And Santos told me that. I don't know if you remember Santos from Hustle in Brooklyn.
I do.
He said to me when we were filming one day, he was like, Kim, how do you do this? How do you just come into people's lives and then leave? Because it's a job, but when we're doing that job, we're so invested because I'm invested in my work.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that you are who you want to be on camera. So I don't just leave. The only time I leave is when it was never real. So maybe you don't think I'm a good producer because you didn't allow me that
to give
chance to like bring you out on camera.
Right.
So it's a very involved thing when I'm working on a show.
That's beautiful though, because I do see on social media like your relationships with the people that you mentioned, and
they're still there.
They're still there.
They're not going anywhere. Those are like life friends.
I love that.
So that came out of the show. Like I knew Yandy for years and years before that. I met her when she was coming up working at Violator. But when we did the show together, it was lockstep because she is such a professional.
Oh, yeah.
And such an entrepreneur that
she really was. Yeah.
So we were constantly in communication. It didn't stop after that.
Do you feel like, in your opinion, like reality shows like Love and Hip Hop, Impact, or Black Ink Crew, do you think that they shape, and now Baddies, what do you think of Baddies?
I haven't watched it.
Oh, girl, it's a lot. It's my guilty pleasure.
I see the clips on social. Look, I get it. I get how much we love the drama.
Yeah.
This is just, I just told you that every week in my building, growing up in the Bronx, someone was banging on my door saying, run outside because there's a building's burning down. We were brought up in
drama and trauma.
Yes.
Yeah,
Highly dramatic situations. So we are drawn to that. When it comes to content.
That's a oh my God, I didn't even think about it psychologically.
Yeah,
We are drawn to.
I'm like, give me the drama. But you have to balance it out with good stuff. You have to, as you grow and mature,
You have to
keep your content and your space pure. You start to gravitate towards different types of energy.
Yeah, because that's important what you're watching,
Right.
what you're listening to, the
Right.
music you hear, like
Right.
a lot of that's why I'm
So I can't do baddies. I can't do baddies. But I see it.
Yeah. I like to watch it and then right after I kind of watch Housewives.
Yeah,
Like my house. I'm like, okay, a little less drama.
Yeah, you got to go with, I like it too, but like, with baddies, it's kind of like everything. Baddies, everything. Like baddies this and baddies that.
It's a lot of fighting too. Do you feel like that is affecting like the way people perceive us in the hip hop community in the urban culture?
I think it does. I think, a little bit of it is good. We like to be entertained, but we also have to be careful because this is a business and we're losing money, whether they like to see or not or admit it.
Yeah, we're losing the big money.
We're losing money when we do that, right? Because there's advertisers that are going to drop off. And I pray whenever I talk about this, I pray that we stay safe because I've been involved on sets in dramatic and volatile situations. Yeah. And I've been lucky. So I have this sort of meter of we're not doing that, right? Like it's not going to go that far. With Love and Hip Hop, like a lot of people would say, oh, it's like all the stuff and they're throwing stuff at each other, but it was a very controlled environment.
It was very controlled.
Very controlled environment.
If you compare it to other shows, I'm like, Love and Hip Hop was a walk in the park.
When you really watch the behind the scenes and you talk to some of the guys who worked security, some of your favorite scenes you don't know. I remember, I think he told me, one of the security guys told me he was in, and I didn't do Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. I did New York, right? And then I worked on a lot of the reality shows. But I think they told me they were in the piano. You remember that big scene with Jocelyn, Stevie, and me?
Yes.
I believe one of the security guys told me he was in the piano. You know what I'm saying? So people don't know, it's not gonna get that far.
Right.
Stop before you get there. And I've been in scenes of shows where I can watch the scene and it's going down. I'm like, I'm right behind the couch. And you don't know I'm there.
Right.
I'm not saying I'm gonna jump in and stop the fight. My security will be
but
I'm so invested in making sure these girls or whoever don't ruin their brand that I'm not gonna let it go that far.
Right.
So to this day there are scenes that I am like, oh, they can't see me, but I'm right behind the couch.
But you're right behind the couch.
Coming out from Video Village, from where I am, taking off my headset and just being right there in the scene. And you would never know.
Wow.
Some scenes you hear people call my name. Kim! Some of that you can't cut it.
Right.
So it's funny to go back and watch it and be like, wow, I remember that day. Kim, call my car. No. I'm like, oh my God.
Wow. So let's talk about representation and how important it is now that, because you're a producer.
Right.
And you're in charge of telling stories and producing stories. How do you ensure that diverse voices and experiences are central to the narratives that you're creating?
Well, I feel like everyone has a story. That is very true.
And that is literally my thing. Everyone has a story to tell.
The story. And, and it gets funny sometimes, right? Because I have a lot of people who will come up to me and go, yo, my life is a movie.
Right.
And I'm like, okay. You know what I'm saying?
Is it written in a movie?
Great. Who's going to write it? Because you still need a writer to put it on paper, format it, and package it in a way that a network or a movie company, production company is going to buy.
Right.
It's a talent. What I do as a writer is a talent.
Yeah.
Don't sell me. Don't come to me and talk about, I'm a movie. Okay, cool. I still have to write it. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta
Right.
you
You
know,
gotta put it together professionally.
right. It's an hour and a half,
Yeah.
like, or 2 hours, right? Your life don't just go into a movie. That's not, there has to be, beginning, middle, and end, a climax, and all these other things. You have to make sure you understand the act structure and what you need to do in certain.
And the most important
Right.
aspects are the ones that make it, because you can't put like everything in a movie. Like,
It's like
the whole
people,
night.
we study and we learn this. Like when I make a show,
Yeah.
right? Like there are certain things. Everyone wants to do a reality show, right? But as a producer, I can show you how we have to craft this, because you can't just throw cameras on
Yeah.
and think that you're going to get a show. No, you have to have an arc, and everyone has to have an arc. And I write these things. This is the writing part
To connect
of reality TV.
Yeah.
People will say like, "Oh, is it scripted?" It's not scripted. No, that's not what's happening. It's real. It's situations that are put together, but the reactions are very real. But we still have to map it out.
Yeah.
We can't just throw the cameras on and film you. You're not that interesting, no matter how much you slice it. Like, I need to be on reality TV. Maybe here and there you get someone like a Nene Leakes and someone who can say these things, but your life is not that interesting, right? We have to put it down in the cards and map it out and make a show. And people don't understand that. They just like put the camera on.
They just want you to put the camera
on. I'm gonna show you what I got. So, the stories that we tell, whether it's television, reality, or, in books, and they have to be presented a certain way, because everybody does have a story. That is absolutely true.
Now, talking about stories, is there going to be a part 2 to straight from the source?
There will be a part 2.
I knew it.
It's not coming now. Right now,
I knew there was a part 2. I was like, this one is too good. Like, it got there, and then you got to make a movie. I'm not even.
There's gonna be a part 2. I started writing a scripted series based on the book and my experiences at the source, but then everybody wanted to be the journalist so I was like, okay.
But there's only one.
I'm off of
him, Osorio.
I know.
So
I know.
Y'all can put whatever stories y'all want, but there's only one of you. You're the original. He's a me. Like.
But I am working on a book right now. But it's not the part 2.
Okay. So it's a different, but what's the name?
So the book, I guess I can say the name. The book is called The People versus Hip Hop. It is a book about a lot of the legal cases that we've seen in the culture, dating all the way back to like, the 80s and 90s, where people have, whether it's criminal or civil, like these very high profile cases in hip hop. And so that is a beast right now. So I'm like digging into even what's going on. This is why I'm always talking about the cases in hip hop.
Can we find out what's going on with Britney Spears?
You're a Britney Spears fan?
I am a Britney Spears
I can see it. You got so happy. You were like, can we find out
we need to know what's going on. So my friend Legacy Bunger, she's also a Britney Spears fan, and she's always, we're always thinking about what's going on with Britney, all these conspiracy theories. We need to find out.
Interesting. I love the conspiracy
We
theories.
need to find out what's going on with Britney. If you can, well, we're gonna get to.
Well, she's not a hip hop case, so I'm not only studying her right now. But
she did songs by some hip hop artists.
Yeah, I mean, did you watch that documentary that the New York Times did
on Britney?
Yeah, that was.
I think I saw it. I see so much stuff. I don't know what's what, but yeah,
I love documentaries, so that was really good.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna watch it. So we talk. Okay, so you got a book coming out. Any other future projects that you're going to be working on? Any shows?
Yeah,
producing.
So I have 2 shows that I'm in the thick of right now. One of them is still NDA'd. I can't say it yet. We just did a big deal. It is a monster of a show. I am so excited about it. I'm already like talking to the cast constantly. But when that gets announced, I'll let you know.
Yes, let me know. I'll come to the premiere, the screen.
Yes, it's gonna be good. And that's based here in New York. So I'm really excited about it, because a lot of shows don't film in New York anymore.
I know.
The other show that I'm working on is a show called Indie Bosses. It's already been announced.
I saw that.
So excited about Indie Bosses. It's a group of women in Indiana who are like self-made millionaires. Indie bosses, yeah. So these women are living it up, but they're all in the home health care. Well, most of them are in the home health care business, and they've made a fortune. and they're living the lifestyle. But they're all in each other's world. And when you're in each other's world, drama, I don't want to make it seem like it's just drama. They're obviously like working together and uplifting each other. And there's one woman who's kind of like set this up for them to be
like
in the bosses.
Yeah.
Put that city on the map. They're from Indianapolis. But when I tell you, I just shot with them this weekend and the content was amazing. And I was so excited. I can't wait to shoot with them again.
I'm excited for that. It sounds like, is she a self-made like millionaire?
Yes.
Self-made.
Yes.
It sounds like one of the series that I'm in. It's called Groupie, the blueprint of a self-made millionaire. And I play a character by the name of Maria, who was like a stripper, but she's trying to get out of that world, and she meets a self-made millionaire who basically teaches her like what she needs to do, how she can use men. I'm sorry, men, to get out of
Not a
her situation.
Not I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, but really not sorry.
We're not sorry.
But it's gonna be good, yeah. So, and yeah, so that it sounded a little bit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's an exciting show. A different city. I don't think we've ever seen Indiana.
No, I don't see none of
The only thing I know about Indiana is that they were our rivals.
Jones.
And I know about the Pacers, like they were our rivals in basketball. My son plays basketball.
Are you a big basketball fan? Your son huge. Who's your team? The Knicks, obviously. Me too, Knicks. I'm a New York fan all day. Whatever New York.
But it was like
play.
Reignited when my son started playing basketball and I started like going to games and getting a little bit too involved.
Yes. Right. Are you like that mom that's at the games? Like, yeah,
I was.
Are you? They both just calm down. Oh,
he did. He was like, relax. Like you're doing too much in the stands. And it's like me and a group of other women, and we're like in love with our son. And we're like
basketball mom.
We are the basketball moms.
Ooh, part of a reality show.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah.
And so we love that. And yeah, he told me to relax, like stop. So I just sit there now and I'm like,
yeah, my son, he's an artist. He likes music. He's a Jadakiss fanatic.
Oh my God, one of my favorite people.
Yes. And he went to go see him the other day in Boston with his dad. They did a little road trip and he got to they were VIP, so they got to meet Jadakiss.
Nice.
And so I don't know, they connected and apparently there's gonna be like a studio session. I don't know with Jadakiss, but like with their people.
Nice.
And so I wanted to go to the studio session and they shut me down.
Yeah, you can't bring your mother.
They were like, no. But I was the one that paid for all his
yeah, it's too bad. You can't.
For studio sessions.
You can't do that. You can't bring your mom. I've been shut down.
I'm a momager though. I need to make sure.
With my daughters is different. I'm a momager as well because my youngest daughter sings.
Yeah.
But and she's already told me that when she makes it, I cannot be her manager. So I need to find another role. Is that she's like, it's not gonna work out.
I see how Beyonce.
Yeah, it didn't work out.
Yeah, it didn't work out.
So my son is a little different, but hey,
I get all teenagers are the same. Let's take a sip to that.
I've been sipping the whole time, just so you're aware.
I'm almost done. I'm about to pour we're gonna get into our rapid fire game, and that's where we're gonna take some shots.
Oh, good.
And this rapid fire game is called Quick Chisme in 60. I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions, and you gotta answer them as quick as possible.
The pressure.
Yes, pressure. So we're gonna get these shots going.
Okay.
I know that you're not a shot girl.
No, but I'll do one for you.
All right, cool.
I'll do one.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, Kim. So we are coming to my favorite part of the episode, and that is our rapid Q&A. It's called the Quick Chisme in 60, where you got to answer a few of my questions really quickly. And, we're going to take shots, though, before.
I know. I see fun coming. So
yeah, these are our shots, courtesy of Isbeta. Thank you, Alan, for giving us the vibes.
Yay.
Thank you, Rachel, for bringing us. The drinks are amazing.
Thank you, Rachel, for the fun.
So we got to take a shot. I'm going to pick a red one because, I used to be Kathy Rez.
Okay.
Take a little red shot.
Should I take a red shot?
Yeah, let's do a red shot.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers. This is the shot.
This is a real shot.
Okay, it's really.
And I think it's vodka in here. It's a Ukrainian vodka. It's fine. You'll be fine. Because I need you to, be a little inebriated for my question. Okay, I want to see how fast you can answer them. Ready?
Okay. We took 3 times. Okay, go.
Mm. Mm. Oh, perfect.
What show is this, Kat?
Take it back. Yep. All right. And here we go.
Okay.
Favorite headline you've ever written? All of them.
Broken silence.
Broken silence. Dream artist that you would like to interview? If you still did interviews, because I know you don't do as many of them now, but if you did, who would that be?
Eddie Murphy.
I love Eddie Murphy. One word for your legacy.
Legendary.
Yes, legendary. All right, media myth that you would love to destroy.
Was this spinning when we first got here? Yeah, this spinning? Or is this spinning?
No, it's been spinning. You know what? I don't even know. No, it was spinning. It was spinning.
Myth that I would love to destroy.
Yes.
That I'm a bitch.
Oh, yes. They need to destroy that myth because you are not a bitch.
So nice.
You are so nice. You are amazing. You're a boss.
I'm a boss.
I feel
Not
like
bitch.
people are intimidated by bosses, especially female bosses, female Latina bosses.
Yeah.
It's intimidating. So
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
All right. So media myth that you love to destroy is that
I'm a bitch.
right, because you're not a bitch.
I'm not.
You are
so
so
nice. Sometimes.
Right. And you're a Latina who's powerful and people get intimidated, and that's their problem.
Yeah.
Not yours.
Yes, exactly.
So the next question, interview that changed your life.
Oh. I'm supposed to be answering these fast.
Yes.
I
As fast as you can.
I don't know how many of the interviews have changed my life. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Oh my God.
Oh, this is horrible. It's okay. It's okay.
I don't think there was an interview that changed my life.
No.
That's bad. Is it bad? Like I want to be a good journalist. I want to be like, yes, this interview was amazing. And yeah, I had a lot of great interviews, but changing my life?
That is okay. That's your story at the end of the day. And that's what we're here for. This is why I was like, we need Kim here to come and tell her story. And it's okay, because that's your truth. That's okay. All right, next question. What's your favorite Latin dish to either eat or cook?
Pollo quesada.
How do you cook it? How do you make it?
You want me to give my secret recipe?
Yes.
First of all, I make my own sofrito.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to go get the recao from a specific market because they don't have it in my neighborhood. So every time I make the sofrito, I have to go get the, whatever you want to call it, recao or culantro.
Right.
Now, my grandmother taught me how to cook Puerto Rican food, right? My father's Puerto Rican. My mother's Black and Chinese. So it's a very different cultural thing. When it comes to cooking, my grandmother was always throwing down, right? So she makes pernil, she makes like, the soup, she makes like pasteles, like all of that. But I think pollo guisado is like just like a staple, like this. It is sort of like
some white rice.
And the flavor from the sofrito is really, and I put it in a lot of my Spanish dishes, but it really stands out in that dish.
It does. Oh, I can't wait to taste this.
It's good.
So, Andula, coming to the next Thanksgiving, whatever holiday.
You know what's funny? I don't cook Spanish food unless it's the holidays.
Yeah, me too.
And it's kind of like, I guess I grew up eating it like that with my grandmother when I was at her house, but I can't eat that. I just can't. I can't cook it healthy. Like, I can't. Like, I can't make it with, like, brown rice, with, like, quinoa.
No, we are not changing the ingredients.
I only eat it during the holidays
because you try to stay on a healthy.
I can't do healthy. Like, I mean, that's bad to say, but, like, it's very hard to, like, how do you make a pastele and Like, what do you do with
No,
that?
yeah.
I have to
You
cook
have
it
to
with
cook
the
it.
matzah and like
It's
a
a
lot of
lot.
calories. Like,
That is.
holidays. I'm trying to. It messed me up this season because this holiday season I made a lot of food. So
Well, I'm coming next holiday to eat all that food, all that Puerto Rican food.
around November, we start getting the Puerto Rican food going. Like we start doing pasteles, arroz con gandules, pernil. We do it, we start.
Yeah.
And then I gotta stop. In January, I gotta stop because I even do the coquitos and
I love making coquito. That's
Yeah.
my favorite thing to do. I learned the way I cook is kind of like Puerto Rican. I mean, I'm not even say it's full on Puerto Rican. I'm Dominican, but my son's father's is Puerto Rican. So my mother-in-law is Puerto Rican. She taught me how to cook. My mother didn't teach me how to cook because she was like, my mom was always kicking me out the kitchen. Versus my mother-in-law was like, come here, let me teach you how to cook because you need to learn how to cook for my son. And
I will say this, and this is a little blasphemous for me, right? Because I just told you I'm half Puerto Rican. I have no Dominican in me at all. However, I think I prefer Dominican style cooking. Oh my God, I shouldn't have said that on camera.
No,
I should have said
it's okay. Dominican food is better.
it might just be not this
joking. She prefers.
But no, it might just be I was over Puerto Rican food, but like for years and years and years, and then I started eating a lot of Dominican restaurants, and I was like, oh my God,
You like it, yeah.
yeah.
I prefer Puerto Rican food and I'm Dominican, so it's
it's 101.
It's 101.
Okay.
All right, well, Kim, we have reached the end of our show. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
coming.
Yeah,
And
fun.
I appreciate that. I'm glad you had fun. That was the goal. I wanted
did.
to have fun, feel comfortable, come and tell your story, and just vibe out here at Isbeta.
It's beautiful here.
Yeah.
Thanks again.
And let everybody know where they can follow you, where they can find you, where they can buy your book straight from the source.
Yes.
Because I bought mine on Amazon.
Thank you. You can get straight from the source on Amazon. You can follow me on Instagram at Kim Osorio1. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel at Kim Osorio Media. And yeah, I think pretty much you know where to reach me.
Oh, and one more thing. I want you to give some advice to young women who are trying to get in media today, because it's different now than it was back then. I think it was harder back then.
I think it was too.
It was so much harder, and now it's a little bit easier, but there's still like probably the same challenge, some of the same challenges and struggles. So what's some advice for young women trying to get in media?
My advice for young women trying to get into media would be to put your head down and get the work done. There's a lot of research, I think, that's being overlooked, and you can really shine if you do your homework. I know we're in the day and age where the personality is really what captures people's attention in media, but if you add that killer personality with the homework and the research, you're going to, I think, soar in media.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I love you.
Thank you, Kat. This is so good. Want to tell me where to get some good Dominican food?
Oh yeah, we had to go uptown. We gotta go with Black Rose uptown to the Heights and get us some good Dominican food.
Some great food there.
I like to go to Floriditas.
Oh, I like Floriditas.
That's where I get.
I like Malecon.
Yeah, Malecon too. Those are my two spots.
Yes.
And I go
Free
there.
plug for them. Look at that. That was bad.
Yeah.
Free plug. Get some
Free
appetite.
We want for my Dominican people.
We want the Dominican food uptown on the house.
Period. Get us some free food. Love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys